suckers. Do it. Just do it in the air, so do it for the damn suckers. Do it.
Yo, if the Cleveland Browns really knew what they were doing, the battle would be only between Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. If this franchise was more incompetent and really was looking for a franchise quarterback, they would know that these are the two guys that they should be trying out at the quarterback position. We already know the ceiling on Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is what he is, and he's a veteran quarterback. They should be trying to decide who's going to be the starting quarterback for the future. Who is QB1 in Cleveland? If Cleveland really wants to find out if they need to draft another quarterback, they need to be trying both of these guys out this season. To me, I think that they should let Dillon Gabriel start a few games and let Shedeur start a few games and may the best man win. If you really want to have a quarterback competition and you really want to find out who's the starter going forward, this is something that you probably would like to implement. You know what I mean? Because it's going to be like this all season long. We know that Shedeur is not really going to get an opportunity. Is it fair to him? Not really. Because you're putting Joe Flacco back at the number 2 quarterback, and it just don't make sense to me. The Cleveland got to make this make sense, and it just doesn't make sense. Now, to me, if you're not going to allow Shedeur Sanders to play for the football team this season, then why do you guys have him in Cleveland? Just release him, let him go, let him find another team that will give him an opportunity, because it looks like he's not going to get the fair opportunity in Cleveland to even compete for the starting job. Anytime you take the starting quarterback out, who was Joe Flacco at the time, and then you replace him with Dillon Gabriel, which, okay, cool. I'm cool with that. Dillon Gabriel gets a shot to be the number 1 quarterback. We'll see what he got. We'll see if he got the kahunas on the field to get it done. But at the same time, you're not even giving Shedeur Sanders an opportunity. Why are you guys punishing this kid in Cleveland? I do not understand this. I don't understand this for the life of me, man. Why are you guys punishing this kid? He should get an opportunity just like Dillon Gabriel is getting an opportunity. To me, if you really want to find out who's the better quarterback and you really want to find out who got the kahunas, then you allow these two dudes to play against each other. You give Dillon Gabriel a set amount of games that he's going to be the starter, and you give Shedeur Sanders a set amount of games that he could be the starter, and let the best man win. Let the best man win. Because Cleveland don't really know what they're doing. They haven't found a franchise quarterback since Bernie Kosar. And we're talking about a long time ago. This is Bernie Kosar was the starting quarterback when I was a little kid. So that's quite a long time ago. But it's just crazy, man, what they're doing in Cleveland. It just does not make sense to me. If you want to find out who is the future QB1, then you allow both of these kids to play and you take Joe Flacco out of the position. You take him out of the QB2 spot. You don't put Joe Flacco at QB2. You already know what Joe Flacco can do. You need to find out what Shedeur can do on the field, and you need to find out what Dillon Gabriel can do on the field. These are the only two guys that should be competing for the starting job in Cleveland, not Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, shout out to him. We know that he's a solid veteran and that we know that he can come in and win some football games, but it's not about that right now. It's about finding out who is going to be your future quarterback so you don't have to go into the draft next season thinking about drafting another quarterback. It just does not make sense. So hopefully Cleveland will wake up and decide to give Shedeur Sanders a fair opportunity to compete for the QB1 job. To me, if it was me and I was the GM or I was the owner of the team, I would say, hey, man, what we want to do is we want to give Dillon Gabriel a set amount of games that he's going to be the starting quarterback for us. We're going to see how Dillon handles everything. Is he a pro's pro? And let's see what Dillon Gabriel offers to the table. And then the same thing with Shedeur Sanders. We're going to give Shedeur an opportunity to lead this team. And whoever plays the best should be the future starting quarterback in Cleveland. If Cleveland is not going to do this, then why are you holding on to Shedeur Sanders? I think the reason why you're holding on to Shedeur Sanders is because you want the clout. You want the notoriety. You want to be relevant. That's the reason why you're holding on to Shedeur Sanders. If you guys don't really want Shedeur, then let him go. But you're not going to let him go because you're smart. You know that it's another team out there that will pick up Shedeur Sanders. You know that. You know that it's a team out there that's going to pick him up. That's why the Cleveland Browns have not released him. But you want to have him on the team as an emergency third quarterback. Make it make sense, because this stuff does not make sense to me, man. Either you're going to allow this kid to get the opportunity to play for you so you can see what you got in Shedeur Sanders, or you release the kid. Release him and let him go, let him walk, and let him go to another franchise. If you're thinking, if you guys are thinking this is just about the media and the attention that Shedeur gets, this kid has been getting attention ever since he was a kid. Shedeur Sanders has been playing football for a very long time. And his family has been on TV shows, everything. So this should not be about that. And so what if he's making money outside of the NFL? They've been making money as the Sanders family. So it should not be about that. I know it feels like it's a controlled thing, and like they want to control Deion Sanders in this situation and letting Deion know that, you know, your boy is not going to play. He's going to play at our discretion. You're not in control of this, Deion. We are in control. That's what this thing is all about. It's about power. It's about power and controlling and to buck break the Sanders family. Because at the end of the day, if you really want to know if Shedeur Sanders is that dude, then you give him an opportunity on the field. And you let him and Dillon Gabriel play it out. Give these guys a set amount of games to play in, and you go from there and you make your decision as a GM or as a coach, whoever's making a decision on who's going to be the starting quarterback, whether it be Kevin Stefanski or it ends up being the owner or whoever, the GM. But you give both guys a fair amount of games to be able to play in so that you can make an assessment of who's going to be your future quarterback in the future. So we'll see, man, if Cleveland will give Shedeur Sanders an opportunity this season. But right now, he's still QB3, and it just don't make sense to me. Release him. If you do not want him, release him, Cleveland. Release him.